Are you struggling to get rid of vitiligo? Are you frustrated by being unable to eliminate your vitiligo or control your vitiligo despite all your efforts? If you answered yes, then I know exactly how you feel, because I have personally gone through the same experience. I battled my severe vitiligo for more than a decade until I finally found a healing procedure that helped me get rid of it permanently. You're about to discover what might be the most powerful vitiligo system ever developed. With it, I have helped thousands of people just like you permanently cure their vitiligo and achieve permanent freedom from all types of vitiligo. My name is David Paltrow, and over the past 11 years, through a long process of trial, error, and experimentation, I've developed a surefire, 100% guaranteed, clinically researched system backed by 41,000 plus hours of nutritional expertise for eliminating vitiligo for good. This is a very rare, unique and powerful vitiligo healing system that very few people even know exists. Are you suffering from any of the following emotional or physical symptoms? Any type of vitiligo, in any level of severity, on your face, back, cheeks, palms, legs or feet? Do you suffer from patches of discolored skin? Do you feel anxious about going out and taking off your shirt in public? Are you feeling self-conscious all the time? Do you obsess over your vitiligo condition? Do you spend a lot of money on drugs and over-the-counters that do not seem to work? Do you want to cure your vitiligo but don't know which treatment is right for you due to information overload? If you are suffering from any of the above symptoms, you can rest assured that I will help you reverse and eventually eliminate these symptoms by following a safe, simple, step-by-step holistic system. 4 important facts about your vitiligo condition. Before we proceed, let me reveal 4 of the most important facts you need to know to understand vitiligo and what you need to do to fully control and eliminate its root cause and symptoms for good. Fact number 1. There is an overload of conflicting information and often ineffective advice on how to treat vitiligo. If you suffer from any type of vitiligo, it is likely that you have been bombarded by so much conflicting advice about how to treat it that it has become truly confusing. Believe me, I understand. Some vitiligo gurus tell you to avoid certain foods. Others tell you that these foods are actually good for your health and that eating them wouldn't interfere with your vitiligo healing process. Some will swear by the effectiveness of a certain vitamin. Others say to avoid that at all costs. Some say the only way to cure vitiligo is to follow a specific diet. Others say diet is not a factor when it comes to curing vitiligo and that you need to empower your immune system instead. I can give you a dozen more examples, but you get the point. All these so-called vitiligo experts make arguments that sound completely logical, but who the heck are you supposed to believe? Well, the Vitiligo Miracle Program is the result of more than 11 years and 41,000 hours of documented clinical research and thousands of dollars spent on experiments and trial and error. The program has already helped thousands of vitiligo sufferers worldwide achieve permanent vitiligo freedom if followed correctly, and the testimonials you can see on this page are not accidental. I have worked hard for more than a decade to separate the wheat from the chaff to give you the knowledge and power to take action with a safe and effective plan, without suffering from the confusion that causes procrastination. Fact number 2. Vitiligo medications such as topical corticosteroid therapy can make your vitiligo worse. Vitiligo medication is not the solution to vitiligo. By prescribing vitiligo medications time and time again, your doctor is actually making your vitiligo and your health worse in the long run, without even knowing it. When you suffer from the frustration and embarrassment of vitiligo, it can sometimes be tempting to visit the doctor and legally acquire medications to treat your vitiligo from the many options available. It is important to know that no matter what your doctor tells you, taking vitiligo medications of any kind to treat your vitiligo will significantly damage your internal systems and destroy your natural internal and immune system balance. Will not cure your vitiligo or fix the environment responsible for vitiligo. Make your vitiligo and your health worse in the long run. Fact number 3. Creams and miracle lotions cannot heal vitiligo. Creams and topical treatments of all kinds are designed to tackle the symptoms of vitiligo, not the real cause. Topical vitiligo treatments is a general name for all prescription and over-the-counter products that are applied on the skin, rather than taken orally. After more than 11 years of research and after experimenting with every known topical vitiligo treatment available on the market, I can honestly and confidently say that there is no topical vitiligo treatment that can actually cure your vitiligo. While there are several topical treatments that may significantly alleviate the symptoms of vitiligo, since vitiligo is not an external problem with your skin but an external manifestation of a deep internal problem, topical treatments, regardless of how powerful they may be, only serve as band-aids by masking the symptoms. The only way to overcome your vitiligo challenge, regardless of the type of vitiligo you have or the level of severity, is by fixing the internal cause using holistic, all-natural methods that tackle the root cause of vitiligo, and not by applying topical vitiligo treatments. If you are interested, please click the link below the video. Fact number 4. Vitiligo is not only a problem with your skin but a warning sign of a serious inner imbalance. Let's make this clear. Vitiligo is not only a problem with your skin. Vitiligo is an internal and systematic problem. It's a symptom of a disorder that affects your whole body and manifests as vitiligo. Since our bodies are designed to protect us against skin disorders such as vitiligo, it is simply a warning sign that something is wrong inside your body and needs to be corrected. Failing to diagnose and fix this problem in a timely manner can result in far more severe and chronic symptoms and disorders, as I explain later, which can seriously endanger your health and well-being. What makes this vitiligo cure breakthrough system so unique is that it gives you the power to cure vitiligo permanently. It's a fact, 95% of the people who use conventional vitiligo treatments are only able to control their vitiligo temporarily, and often they end up worse than when they started. Now you can learn how to be in the successful 5% group that keeps it off forever. Don't believe those websites that offer a fast remedy to vitiligo. No magic pill or fix-it-all product exists. The solution I now offer is an intelligent, scientific approach that gets vitiligo under control and eliminates its related symptoms in a few short weeks, depending on the severity. My program also teaches you how to prevent vitiligo recurrence. Cure vitiligo holistically. It's a fact, curing vitiligo can never be achieved by tackling just one of the many factors responsible for vitiligo. If you've ever tried to cure your vitiligo using a one-dimensional treatment like creams and all topical treatments and failed, it's probably because you have tackled only one aspect of the disease. Not only will this system teach you the only way to prevent your vitiligo from forming, but you will also learn the only way to really cure vitiligo for good, the holistic way. Cure vitiligo without drugs or typical vitiligo treatments. Drugs and typical vitiligo treatments sometimes work partially and temporarily, and the side effects are nasty. Only the tiny handful vitiligo sufferers who have learned how to treat their vitiligo from within, without ever using drugs or over-the-counters, keep their systems free of vitiligo permanently. Now you can learn these vitiligo cure secrets from a nutritionist and a former sufferer who knows from real-world experience exactly how it's done. Vitiligo Miracle promotes a healthy and balanced internal environment while eliminating your vitiligo and preventing its recurrence naturally and safely within 8 weeks. Cure vitiligo with a safe, effective and clear plan and put an end to the confusion and conflicting advice once and for all. If you're frustrated and confused by information overload and bad, conflicting advice, then Vitiligo Miracle is the system that will finally make everything clear for you. When you finish reading the book, you'll say to yourself, "Now I get it." All the pieces of the vitiligo puzzle will finally fall into place. You'll finally understand the truth behind your vitiligo, the real deep-rooted causes, and everything you need to do to eliminate vitiligo from your life forever and feel better than you ever felt before. My long, frustrating battle with vitiligo. My struggle started in college. Things were going great, and I was enjoying life. One morning I noticed that my shoulder itched a bit, but figuring it was probably the new detergent I'd used, I didn't give it much thought. Soon thereafter, however, my roommate noticed a big white splotch on my back. "It looks like your skin coloring just faded away," she said. Weird, I thought, but with the itching gone and no other symptoms, I just let it go. A few weeks later, a few more white splotches appeared on my legs and stomach, and in less than a month, they spread to other parts of my body, including my face. Now I was beginning to panic, and people were beginning to notice. The school nurse suggested it might be an allergic reaction or skin infection. Since the semester was almost over, I decided to wait and deal with the issue once I got home. Happy to be home for the summer, I quickly found a job as a lifeguard at a local pool. On my first day at work, however, little kids kept staring at me, and some even laughed. What's the problem? I wondered. Then it hit me. They'd noticed my white blotches. My boss asked if I suffered from a skin condition and requested that I see a doctor before coming back to work. Embarrassed, I finally went to my doctor. He diagnosed me right away, vitiligo. Unsure of how to handle my fast-growing splotching, he sent me to the dermatologist. What happened next shocked me to the core. This isn't something we can cure, said the dermatologist. Sometimes it can be controlled, but in most cases it gets worse and worse, until the entire body is affected. By the time I hit my mid-30s, there would be no hiding my condition, he explained. I left his office in tears. My mother, a staunch believer in homeopathic medicine, made an appointment with a local naturopath, who agreed that vitiligo could be hard to treat but believed that nature offered some options. She put me on a regimen of creams and vitamins. Unfortunately, they didn't help at all. Feeling depleted, I headed back to the dermatologist. He suggested a variety of treatments to try out, but they were either too expensive or with too many side effects. I left his office weeping once again. When I returned to college in the fall, my friends couldn't believe the difference in me. I was pale, sickly looking and depressed. My skin blotches were getting worse, and I was finding it hard to concentrate on anything but the way I looked. I chose clothing that hid my skin and would only go to dark restaurants and pubs, where people couldn't see my condition. Gone was the energetic, fun guy that my friends had enjoyed spending time with. I graduated with an average in classwork and an F in self-esteem. Luckily for me, my work after graduation kept me in an office away from people. There, I didn't have to worry about being seen and could concentrate on doing a good job. That is, until my boss asked me to do a workshop for other employees at the company. The opportunity was great, but I turned it down, knowing full well that everyone in the room would concentrate more on my discolored skin than on what I was saying. My boss asked several times, but I firmly declined. Finally, she pulled me into her office and asked what my plans for the future were. I stared at her in disbelief. I had no plans. After all, if I couldn't be seen in public, why bother dreaming about bigger and better things? Deep down, I felt there must have been another option, a healthier alternative. 12 years of study, research, trial, error, and experimentation. I started studying hard. I bought every book on skin disorders, cellular health, autoimmune diseases, detoxification and nutrition that I could get my hands on, and picked the brains of every doctor, herbalist, homeopath and naturopath kind enough to lend their time. I tried everything. Book knowledge and interviews are one thing, but it's not the same as knowledge from actual experience. Scientific facts, figures and theories weren't enough. I have also tried every vitiligo treatment known to science and natural health with conviction, desire, and hope that it would make a difference, that it would finally eliminate my vitiligo and bring me my life back. I wanted so much to get rid of my vitiligo, so I blindly devoted myself to myriad methods and so-called cures, some familiar and some highly esoteric. All these treatments carried the promise of banishing my vitiligo once and for all and bring my life back to normal. Over the years, I tried every vitiligo treatment known to science: topical corticosteroids, UVB phototherapy, immunomodulators, topical cereblin therapy, oral cereblin photochemotherapy, PUVA, eczema laser, Chinese medicine, magnetic therapy, diets, and more. I tried everything. Yet, despite years of focused effort, I still suffered from severe vitiligo. Needless to say, most of these methods, treatments and so-called cures either made my vitiligo condition worse and filled me with heartbreaking disappointment and frustration, or they only worked short-term before my vitiligo came back with a vengeance. Some of these treatments didn't have any effect whatsoever on my vitiligo condition. After years of self-experimenting with dozens and dozens of treatments such as the above, some I believe you never even heard of, investing my precious time, hard-earned money, and my soul in search for that lasting cure without results, I finally felt my vitiligo was stronger than me. I was willing to do whatever it took to cure it, but it seemed like there was nothing left to do but throw in the towel. If you are interested, please click the link below the video. I remember saying to myself, give up. Let it go. Every man has got his cross to bear and yours is vitiligo. Stop fighting and accept it. But how can anyone accept such a horrible affliction? How can I accept it when I'm surrounded with people who never suffered from this embarrassing condition? Now, 12 painful years and thousands of diligent work hours later, the vitiligo puzzle was finally solved. Not the kind of person who readily gives up, I decided enough was enough. If the dozen or so doctors I had seen couldn't offer any help, I would find it on my own. Maybe it was frustration, or maybe it was a sense of self-preservation that drove me forward on my quest to treat my own vitiligo, but I was determined to find a cure for myself and others like me, and guess what, I did. The woman who changed my life. I don't know if it was pure luck or a message from above, but as I was standing in line at a coffee shop, I started a conversation with a very intelligent and witty woman who told me that her sister had suffered from a severe case of vitiligo, and the only person who had been able to help her had been an off-the-wall holistic practitioner called Benjamin who lived in North Dakota. The funny yet interesting thing was that she went to see Benjamin by accident, and it wasn't for the purpose of healing her vitiligo. She went to see him because of a completely different autoimmune disorder she was suffering from. I was skeptical, of course, but the woman insisted that the meeting with Benjamin had helped her sister completely heal herself from her condition. Having nothing to lose, I took the first plane the next week and met with Benjamin. I interviewed him for hours and left. Not long after the meeting with Benjamin, I discovered a very important piece of research. After more than 12 years of diligent work and in-depth research on a daily basis, after experiencing several eureka moments, and after a long process of trial and error and dozens of interviews and self-experiments, I finally found the missing piece of the vitiligo puzzle. It took me more than a year to polish and refine my discovery, and in the end I applied it myself with great hopes and passion, and to my sheer amazement, after few weeks of following it, my vitiligo completely disappeared. It took me a few years with a lot of research to get to where I am today, to know exactly what works and what doesn't. Yet, after desperate trial and error, countless of useless treatments, disappointments, and agony, a simple holistic system opened the door to my new and much brighter, vitiligo-free life. I was also excited to see that my other skin problems had diminished. After years of suffering, I was finally free from vitiligo. Lisa was able to cure and prevent her vitiligo condition in less than 4 weeks after she followed my proven step-by-step system. Here's an interesting story about a friend of mine who suffered from severe vitiligo along with very troubled skin due to her condition. She was a very bright woman in her mid-20s, yet unemployed because of her condition. She was practically living on vitiligo drugs and other over-the-counters and was in dire need of reassurance and help. I've changed her name for privacy. Lisa was treated by 4 different doctors who advised her to keep taking the medications and apply the over-the-counter drugs. Then, she followed my step-by-step plan with some restrictions and limitations. I showed her how to reverse her condition by following the same approach you're about to learn. Lisa committed herself to following the program. In less than 3 weeks, from February 1, 2013, until February 20, 2013, Lisa's vitiligo had disappeared along with her related skin disorders. For Lisa, it was a life-changing experience. I developed this program so I could share my proven system with men and women around the world. Everything I taught Lisa and discovered from my research can be immediately available to you through this best-selling Vitiligo Miracle program. Amazingly, every other man and woman who used this method got the same results. I also started testing my system on other vitiligo sufferers, and it yielded the same shocking and groundbreaking results. In less than 7 weeks on average, 31 out of 31 men and women participating in my experiment had completely got rid of their vitiligo and regained their lives. What's even more exciting is that it worked on all types of vitiligo, on all levels of severity, and with men and women of any age. I was shocked again and again, that as long as people followed the steps correctly and completed the program, this system worked like a machine, magically helping people to put their vitiligo behind them. All the men and women who used this method had experienced the following benefits. After the first several days, the spreading of their vitiligo seemed to stop, and many of the skin patches have returned to their natural color. In 3 to 7 weeks after that, all vitiligo symptoms had completely gone away, and they restored skin pigmentation and the color of their skin regardless of the activities the subjects had participated in. Stress, embarrassment, humiliation, and any self-consciousness had now gone away. They instantly began to feel more confident, had increased levels of self-esteem, and felt much happier than ever. They felt lighter, healthier, and energetic. Their general health and quality of life had improved. So now I took the time, tweaked and refined the system to completion to ensure it would yield the most remarkable, long-lasting results. Since then, thousands of men and women worldwide have used my step-by-step system successfully and gotten rid of their vitiligo quickly, safely, naturally, and for good. I also made some amazing discoveries. The first thing I discovered was that almost everyone is getting ripped off by the drug and pharmaceutical companies. The vitiligo drug industries are filled with snake oil salesmen who are getting rich by preying on your desperation. The second thing I discovered is that almost everyone is dead wrong in the way they try to control and treat their vitiligo. It's a fact, the methods you're probably using right now to clear your vitiligo might be severely damaging your internal system and your health. Are you curing your vitiligo or making it worse? If you're making the same deadly mistakes as most other vitiligo sufferers, you might control your vitiligo temporarily, but your vitiligo and your health will get worse in the long run. I realized the hard way that there were no magic pills or fix-it-all products for vitiligo. Drugs, topical corticosteroid treatment, UV therapy, depigmentation and laser treatments, special diets, vitamins, and herbal supplements may work temporarily on the symptoms of vitiligo, but if the real cause of vitiligo is neglected, your vitiligo will not be cured, and eventually the severity of your vitiligo will increase. Moreover, many men and women face myriad additional health complications after taking drugs and after surgery, because conventional treatments fail to address the root cause of vitiligo. You can't overcome such a profound internal problem using drugs and surgeries aimed at treating the symptoms of vitiligo. You can't fool your body, you have to work with your internal system, not against it, by fixing the root cause. Warning: vitiligo drugs can have serious side effects. The most common class of vitiligo prescriptions includes protopic-allyl corticosteroid therapy. Taking the above prescription drugs can lead to the following common side effects, which include but are not limited to drowsiness, lack of energy, enlarged pupils, digestive system disorders, high blood pressure, loss of sense of taste or smell, nausea, stomach upset, vomiting, liver damage, weakened immune system, increased risk of lymphoma and skin cancer. Vision changes. Warning: vitiligo can be very dangerous if left untreated. If you have vitiligo, besides the more conventional causes, it is also possible that your vitiligo is related to other risky conditions. The truth is that vitiligo can be very dangerous if left untreated and can worsen with age. It is very common that the cause of vitiligo is a problem with one of your internal organs. Vitiligo can also lead to increased risk to other autoimmune diseases such as hypothyroidism, partial loss of hearing, diabetes mellitus, pernicious anemia, and vision problems due to lack of pigment in parts of your eyes. As you can see, vitiligo is not a condition you want to ignore or try to live with. Vitiligo is a message from your body telling you something is wrong inside. Your body sends you messages all the time. Most of us ignore the majority of them. Vitiligo and the pain associated with them are like big warning signs in the middle of the road. If you ignore those messages, your condition is bound to get worse. By using drugs to shut off your body's alarm system, you are ignoring your body's messages and neglecting the root cause of your problem, thus making your vitiligo condition worse in the long run. The only way you can ever cure your vitiligo is from within, by correctly diagnosing your condition and listening to what your body is trying to tell you. Work with it and free yourself. Vitiligo is triggered by multiple internal factors and therefore can only be treated by tackling all of those internal elements, not by trying to remove the discolored patch on your skin using creams or steroids. The only way you can ever cure your vitiligo is by listening to what your body is trying to tell you, and working with it to free yourself. When I finally figured that out, along with what was going on in the vitiligo drug industries, I decided I had to take action, so I put things on paper and began guiding other vitiligo sufferers using this new system I developed. Now, for the first time ever, the same vitiligo cure system that helped thousands of vitiligo sufferers all over the world permanently stop and prevent all vitiligo-related symptoms is available to you in a single, jam-packed, 170-page e-book. Introducing Vitiligo Miracle. If you are interested, please click on the link below the video to learn the full content.